Well, I guess you'd call this a sequel. Last time I gave a video blog for Wheaton Soccer, it wasn't really about Wheaton Soccer, it was about what I think is a very epidemic issue of coaching abuse among youth sports, You call this a sequel. So if you're tuning in to find out more about Wheaton Soccer, you'll have to wait till the next time. This is the sequel to the issue of coaching abuse. It's been really fun that I've gotten so many responses to the video blog number 3, which is about this issue. But one dad wrote to me the other day and said, "You just don't get it. Some of us realize our kids are tough and they can take this and they can handle this. So who cares? You know, yeah, it's too bad, but who cares?" And I wanted to say to that dad, wait a minute. If I'm driving by a parent that has all the windows up and is smoking in a closed car and their kids are in the car, and we know from every single study done that it's harming those kids with secondhand smoke, is it just enough that the parent goes, "No, you don't get it. My kid's tough. My kid's lungs are tough. They can handle it"? No, it's not. Because all of the research says you're hurting them. And all of the research says if you verbally and physically are abused by someone, a trusted adult, you're going to be an abuser, or you're more likely to be an abuser or be abused when you're an adult. Kids don't know how to act as adults. How do they learn that? Every study tells us that. They learn that by watching how adults interact. And so if trusted adults in our life, whether they are parents or whether they are trusted coaches, if they abuse us, if parents abuse each other, whatever it is, we learn that's okay. That's okay. So when I go to marry someone, the studies say, I'm more likely to say it's okay that he abuses me verbally sometimes. Or when I have kids, it's okay that I verbally abuse those kids, because I saw that as a model in my coach. So I don't really care if the parent of the child being abused thinks it's no big deal. The studies are clear that it's going to hurt their kids, or at least increase the chances of hurting their kids. Now, let me go the opposite way for just a moment and talk about the other side of this. I'm going to pick on parents for a moment. So if you're a parent, I'm a parent, and I need to hear this as well. But please understand, when I'm talking about coaching abuse, I'm not talking about the coach that says, "You're not playing well enough." The coach that says, "You're not playing because so-and-so is playing better." The coach that says, "We lost because we didn't play well enough." I think we need to be truth tellers to our players. True story, real quick true story. I was sitting behind two parents at a number 1 versus number 2 nationally ranked club soccer game. And number 1 was losing for the first time in history. It was a Disney tournament I was at. And the number 1 turned, the parents were sitting right in front of me, because we were underneath the canopy, and one of them turned to the other mom and said, I can't believe our daughters, I was back coaching women at the time, are playing this badly. And the other woman looked at her and with a completely straight face said, do you think it's the ball? Do you think maybe there's something wrong with the ball? The idea was, our kids can never do anything wrong. If they're losing, it must be bad coaching. If they're losing, it must be bad refereeing, or it must be a badly shaped ball. That's not what I'm talking about when I'm talking about abusive coaching. I'm talking about coaching that is primarily done through anger. If any of us look back at what we regret saying in our lives, it's almost always when there's something said in anger. And there are coaches, I go to club tournaments almost every third weekend of my year. There are club coaches who never say anything except out of anger. I heard a coach once yell out at a girl that if she wasn't eating so many donuts, she could stay with the speed of play. I heard a guy last year just scream at his player, "John, do you know anything at all about the game of soccer?" He was furious, he was angry, he was saying mean-spirited things. I don't deny that those coaches can't teach us good things about the game. The problem is they're teaching our kids other things that are going to stay with them the rest of their lives. So hey, I'm pretty fired up. I'm fired up that so many people wrote in, and I'm fired up that so many people care about this, and I hope that all of us have the courage to do something about it. A famous movie came out in the 70s where everybody went out and were told to go out and say, "Hey, I'm as mad as anything, and I'm not going to take it anymore." And I think that's where we need to be. And I hope that the next time I'm in a club tournament, I know it will happen, and I see this by a club coach, that club coach is going to hear from me. And if he's not listening, his club director is going to hear from me. Because I don't care whether the parents believe or don't believe it's hurting their kids. Everything tells us it is. And kids are too important, and kids are too valuable to turn a game into something that could ruin them for life.